When Ethan Harper pulled into his driveway, exhaustion clung to him like a shadow. A weekend trip to visit an old friend had left him drained, and all he wanted was the comfort of home. His lawn was trimmed, the porch light glowed, and the curtains hung just as he'd left them. But as he stepped inside, a chill crawled up his spine. Something was wrong. The air smelled of old books and coffee, but the living room felt empty. His eyes locked onto the wall above the fireplace. The wooden plaque, where his grandfather's World War II medals had hung for years, was bare. The Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and others, gone. His chest tightened, his breath caught. This wasn't a burglary. His TV, laptop, and wallet sat untouched. Only the medals were missing. Ethan's gaze darted to the front door. A faint splinter near the handle told him someone had forced their way in. Hands shaking, he dialed 911. The dispatcher's flat voice promised an officer, but when the cop arrived, a tired, overweight man with a bored expression, Ethan's hope faded. "What's missing?" the officer asked, barely looking up from his notepad. "My grandfather's medals," Ethan snapped. The cop raised an eyebrow. "Just the medals?" Ethan nodded, fists clenching. Then the officer smirked, holding up a paper. "Your HOA took M. Unauthorized decor violates community aesthetics." Ethan's world tilted. "They broke into my house," he roared. The cop shrugged. "They enforced a regulation. It's not theft, technically." The notice cited Section 12, Article B, and warned of HOA-sanctioned action. Ethan's vision blurred with rage. His grandfather had bled for those medals, and now some power-drunk HOA thought they could steal them? He stormed to his car, dialing the HOA office. A woman answered, her voice dripping with indifference. "You violated aesthetic guidelines," she said when Ethan demanded answers. "We issued warnings. You didn't comply." Ethan's voice shook. "You stole my grandfather's legacy." She sighed, unfazed. "Submit a complaint in writing. Talk to the president, Margaret Voss." Margaret Voss lived in a pristine house that screamed HOA royalty. When she opened the door, her blonde bob and pressed blouse screamed control. She clutched a clipboard like a weapon, her lips pursed in disdain. "You stole from me," Ethan seethed. Margaret's smile was icy. "It was an enforcement action. Your medals violated Ruth's." Ethan's voice dropped, dangerous. "They're my grandfather's legacy." She waved a hand. "Rules exist for a reason. They're likely destroyed." Ethan's body vibrated with fury. "I'll get a lawyer." "I'll press charges." Margaret's patronizing nod was the last straw. She slammed the door, and Ethan stood frozen, hatred burning through him. Lawyers were no help. One after another, they refused his case. "HOAs have money and lawyers," one said. "You'll lose." Another laughed. "Not worth the fight." The police were worse. "It's a civil matter," an officer said, already turning away. Ethan sat at his kitchen table, defeated. The medals, his grandfather's proof of sacrifice, were gone, and no one cared. Then his mother's voice cut through the silence. "Your grandfather never gave up," she said, her eyes steady. "You think he let the world beat him?" Ethan's jaw clenched. No. His grandfather had fought Nazis. He wouldn't let some HOA win. Ethan hit his laptop with a vengeance. He emailed news stations, veteran groups, and even the Pentagon, pouring his rage into every word. He detailed his grandfather's service, the battles, the medals, and the HOA's theft. Days passed in silence. Ethan checked his inbox obsessively, hope fading. Then his phone rang, an unlisted number. "Ethan Harper?" a deep voice said. "Colonel Ramsey, Department of Defense. Your letter's unacceptable. We're handling it." The line went dead. Ethan's heart raced. Before he could process it, his email exploded with replies. Reporters, activists, and veterans, people were listening. At dawn, military jeeps rolled into the neighborhood. Ethan stepped outside, heart pounding, as uniformed officers climbed out, their faces unreadable. Neighbors gathered, phones recording, whispers spreading. The officers stopped at Margaret Voss's house. 2 high-ranking men pounded on her door. When she answered, her smugness faltered. "We're here for stolen property," the lead officer said, voice like steel. Ethan smirked. "They mean my grandfather's medals," Margaret scoffed. "This is ridiculous." But the officer produced a federal warrant. "You possess a veteran's property. This is federal jurisdiction." Margaret paled, her confidence crumbling. Then a younger officer peered inside her house. "You've got a lot of military memorabilia," he said, suspicion heavy in his voice. Ethan followed his gaze. A glass case in Margaret's living room held dozens of medals, not just his grandfather's. The crowd gasped. Ethan's stomach dropped. She hadn't just stolen from him. She'd been doing this for years. The officers confiscated everything: medals, ribbons, certificates. What started as a dispute became a federal investigation. Military lawyers tore through HOA records, uncovering a mafia-like operation. Priceless heirlooms, artwork, and even land deeds had been seized under fake violations, never returned. Margaret's HOA had bullied homeowners into silence with fines and threats. By noon, news vans swarmed the neighborhood. Headlines screamed, "HOA President steals veterans' medals, scandal unfolds." Social media erupted with #HOA scandal and #Justice for Veterans. Protests grew, with homeowners and veterans marching outside Margaret's house. Then a leak hit: HOA financial records showing millions in misallocated funds, fraudulent fees, and private accounts tied to Margaret. The crowd outside her house doubled. That evening, police arrived. "Margaret Voss, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and grand larceny," an officer said. As handcuffs clicked, the crowd cheered. The sun set as Ethan stood on his lawn, a velvet case in his hands. A military officer saluted him. "Your grandfather's medals, His Honor," the officer said. Ethan opened the case, tears burning his eyes. The medals gleamed, his grandfather's legacy, restored. The neighborhood buzzed with life. The HOA was dismantled, its board under investigation or resigned. Kids biked freely, neighbors laughed, and the oppressive rules were gone. The story didn't stop there. It exploded nationally. Veterans and military families demanded justice. A petition to limit HOA power gained 1 million signatures. Lawmakers, pressured by the outrage, passed laws banning HOAs from seizing military memorabilia. Ethan's fight changed the system. But for him, it was personal. At his grandfather's grave, he placed the medals on the tombstone. "I got them back, Grandpa," he whispered. A breeze stirred, and for a moment, he felt his grandfather's pride. This story raises tough questions. Was Ethan's fight worth the chaos? Did Margaret deserve her downfall, or was she a product of unchecked power? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's debate, where's the line between justice and revenge? Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more gripping stories.